So I'm going to bring the thread down to set up the double weed guard. I'm going to bring the thread down about a third of an inch down the bend of the hook to start with. And you don't have to worry about immediately measuring the monofilament for the weed guard. You want to take out about 12 inches or so of the line to start with. And then we're going to line it up and even it out after we tie the fly. So I'm going to take the first side, I'm going to tie it down the side, not the top. And what I'm going to do is also widen the hook body for the fly body and the tail. So I'm coming down the first side, pulling it through the bend, down to where I ended the thread, which is about a third of an inch below the bend. Bring it back up. Tie in the middle with about 5 wraps. And then I'm going to take and measure just to get rid of a lot of the excess that I've got. So just so I can get an idea of it being even and how much if I've got too much. So I have quite a bit here, so I'll just shorten it up a little bit. Measure it off. Now I'm going to readjust it when I actually set it. So now I got it pretty reasonable length that I can work with, which at this point is about ½ an inch below the hook point. If you can see that. That's about ½ an inch below the hook point. Now I'm going to get rid of a lot of that when we finish off the fly. So now I'll come up, make a few more turns, lock it in at that point, cut off the excess. And now I'm going to go ahead and lay it in down the other side so that I have a flat base. I've taken the hook and it's no longer a round hook, it's actually a flat hook on the top. I bring it up and one of the things I do is I put a twist in it. And I'll explain that in a second. And I put it back up over the hook and I loop around it with the thread. I'm not concerned about it being perfectly straight. Okay, what I did with that loop, it forms an X at the front of the fly. That X gives it more strength so that you can throw this into timber, weeds, or whatever you want. And it's strong enough that when it hits it, it won't let the point of the hook come through. And it's strong enough that the fly will actually, the tail end of the fly actually bounces up and floats over. Just like working a plastic worm. So you can throw this thing in with any kind of trash that you want to throw it into without any fear. All right, so now I still have it loose, I haven't locked it in. So now I'm looking at it and I'm going, well, okay, I got to adjust it. So I nip off the top. So now I can pull on this. I want these to be equal. So I'm going to look at them and I'm going to try and make them a little tighter so that when I push them together they actually rub. Okay, so now that I've got them equal, and I also have the loop, the bottom of the loop at approximately, about a little less than ½ an inch below the hook tip, I am ready to finish it off. So now I'm going to make a bunch of turns, 8, 9, 10, 12 turns up here to lock this in. So now I've got it locked in. When the fish hits with this type of weed guard, on a single weed guard it has to go left or right. And that has a tendency to knock fish off the hook. And it keeps them from getting to the point of the hook. When the fish hits this, it splays and opens up. So when I put my finger down like a fish biting, that hook is bare. It's there. I don't have to worry about going left or right or moving it. It's also a lot easier to set the hook. You don't have to do one of those rodeo hooks. You can just strip it with a line and it'll set. So now I've got this part, got it locked in, got it set. So the next step is to go ahead and leave the pieces on the top and go ahead and tie it off. right? Go ahead and trim this off. All right. Now, what I have here is a cauterizer for eye surgery. Fly shops carry it, medical places carry it. This is a 2-battery one, which produces a lot more heat. There's single batteries and 2 double batteries. This is a double battery. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip off about half of this, and this is just going to take practice, however much you think is necessary. And what I'm going to do is burn these down into a little ball on the end, and it will not pull back through at that point. Being careful not to burn my wool or catch it on fire. Okay. There we go. Now, these will not pull back through. They're locked in.